America in 2025 is living out an absurd tragedy. This superpower that talks about AI and Mars colonization has hundreds of thousands of citizens curling up in car back seats every night to sleep. This isn't some romantic van life adventure. It's a desperate survival strategy. Federal data shows the homeless population has surged 18% in just 1 year. Here's what's shocking. Most of these people still have jobs, still pay taxes, still chase the American dream. They just do it from a four-wheeled mobile home now. Rents are skyrocketing, wages are frozen, and new court rulings allow cities to ticket people sleeping on the streets. The result? People have moved from tents into car seats, hiding in the shadows of parking lots. The question isn't how many people are living in cars. It's why is a wealthy nation letting this become normal? Today I'm breaking down 5 reasons why car living has become the new symbol of America's 2025 crisis. Part 1. The losing race between rent and wages. Let's start with the most obvious reason. Housing costs have gone insane. In 2025, a one-bedroom apartment in Los Angeles runs nearly $2,800 a month. In New York, it's over $4,000, enough to cover monthly payments on a used car. Meanwhile, the national average wage increase is barely 4%. Rent is rising 5 times faster than wages. Research shows that for every $100 increase in average rent, homelessness jumps by 9%. People who pay taxes on time and used to have stable housing are now catching up on sleep debt in their cars. Cars have transformed from symbols of freedom into shelters. People don't say, "Work to buy a car," anymore. They say, "You need a car to work." The steering wheel isn't for turning corners, it's for escaping rent. When housing costs become a race wages can never win, stable middle-aged folks suddenly slide off the map. It's not that they're lazy. They still go to work, still pay taxes, still maintain their dignity. They just have to make a choice at the end of every month. Pay rent or keep the car? A man in the Bay Area put it this way. My landlord raised rent $300, so I left. My old van is home now. At least no landlord can kick me out of this. This isn't an isolated story. It's a symptom of economic dislocation. The American dream has been folded into a car trunk. That ironic saying has come true. In today's America, rich people have garages, and those living in their cars have taken a shortcut into real estate. The real question isn't why choose a car. It's why does a country with plenty of empty homes force citizens to turn their cars into sleeping pods? Part 2. The invisible car-dwelling population. Here's the irony. America's homeless aren't always on the streets. Many have a roof, a metal car roof, complete with 4 wheels and a steering wheel. Reports show over 256,000 Americans spend nights in cars, warehouses, or along roadsides, and that number's rising as fast as coffee prices. A Los Angeles survey found that car dwellers make up the largest share of unsheltered homeless people, outnumbering those in tents. Garages, Walmart parking lots, and parks have become makeshift motels. Why choose a car over a shelter? Simple. Shelters are crowded, noisy, lack privacy, and sometimes aren't safe. A car might be cramped, but it guards that last shred of dignity. Nobody sees you, nobody pities you. You can still shave, make coffee, listen to the news, act like a normal person. Cars help them escape the homeless label. But because of this, they're invisible in the support system. The government only counts people on the streets or in shelters. This group barely registers in the data. They're not homeless enough to get help, but not stable enough to survive long-term. This gray zone of dignity expands every day. Picture this. You're 58, took early retirement, own an SUV that's paid off. Then medical bills arrive, prescription costs double. You sell your small apartment thinking you'll rent something cheaper, but rent equals your entire retirement check. So you park behind the library, brush your teeth with bottled water every day, use the rearview mirror as your mirror. During the day, nobody knows you're homeless. At night, only the rain tapping on the car roof reminds you. This isn't temporary anymore. A Seattle couple shared. We sold our house, rented a garage, sleep in our SUV. At least we're still together, with a door and a roof. Garages have become anonymous bedrooms in gleaming cities. Society calls them unsheltered, but they've found the only shelter the system doesn't need to approve, their car. It's legal but seen as a nuisance. Everyone wants to look away, including the owners themselves. When these micro-homes increasingly appear in parking lots, parks, and along highways, it's no longer a personal problem. We're witnessing an entire class disappear from the city map, living in the shadows right beside us, and we don't even notice. The question is, are they escaping poverty or escaping society's gaze? Part 3. How policy became the pusher. Cleaning up the streets has taken on a new meaning in 2025 America, making people disappear from view. In June 2024, the Supreme Court ruled that cities can fine people for sleeping outside. Encampments got cleared, parks were returned to the community. The media called it a victory for order. Was it really? It just moved tens of thousands of people from sidewalks into cars. Los Angeles, San Francisco, Portland, tent cities became car cities. The only difference: camping is banned, people sleep in cars, and cities look cleaner. San Francisco data shows that between 2022 and 2024, RVs used as dwellings increased 37%, right after anti-camping laws took effect. Drive through parking lots at night, and you'll see a row of silent cars. No lights, no movement, but inside our lives holding their breath. Here's the problem. Policy doesn't ask, why are they homeless? It only asks, how do we get them off the streets? It solves the image problem, not the root cause. Government reports, street camping down 20%. But they don't mention that 15% are sleeping in cars and 5% were forced to leave the city. The streets are cleaner, but hearts aren't clean. Tents have been replaced by overnight parking. As long as you can't see it, it's comfortable. A 63-year-old woman in San Diego said, "Police knocked on my tent saying I couldn't sleep there. I got in my car thinking it'd be better. Now I'm getting tickets for parking too long." It's a perfect vicious cycle. Can't lie down, can't park, can't stay. People learn to be invisible, sleep in the car without turning on lights, move every few hours, park where there's free Wi-Fi. Google Maps and Walmart have become tools for preserving dignity. Bitter but true. In America, poor people sleeping on the street get fined. Poor people with cars are called vehicularly homeless. Is that supposed to be a badge of honor? What's truly scary? When laws redefine where poverty is allowed to exist, car living is no longer an exception. It's become an unspoken underground policy. Behind every silently parked car isn't just a temporary resident. It's a new social class being formed. Part 4. Birth of the in-between homeless. Homeless people with cars? Sounds like luxury poverty, a contradiction. But in 2025 America, it's become a new class. Not poor enough to get help, not rich enough to keep a roof. They're called the in-between homeless, the middle tier. No tent, no shelter, but they have jobs, phones, insurance. Yet at night, they sleep in the back seat of an SUV. A Los Angeles study shows that the car-dwelling population is completely different from the shelter population. They don't use drugs, aren't unemployed, don't want to trouble anyone. They're just out of options. Half have full-time jobs, a third are over 50. Many used to own homes, until rent spiked, medication costs rose, or medical bills crushed their finances. The car transformed from commute tool to last lifeline. A 55-year-old technician in San Jose kept his old Toyota after his company went under. "I'm not selling the car, it's home now." Every night after 7 p.m., he parks in an industrial area. In the morning, he washes up at a gas station, buys a $1 coffee at 7-Eleven, heads to the construction site for day labor. He says, "At least I still have my own lock." Shelters don't have that. This is how people hold on to their remaining self-respect. The paradox: because they have a car, authorities don't classify them as urgently homeless. No support, no records, not counted in statistics. They're like minor software bugs. Nobody fixes them because the system still runs. But for how long? Until the car breaks down or runs out of gas. And at that moment, they officially cross the line into homelessness. The irony is people say home, sweet home. But for many Americans now it's parking lot, sweet parking lot. They're not quitters. They're living proof that one rent increase or medical bill can destroy all life stability. The question is, does society actually help them get back on their feet? Or does it wait until they hit rock bottom before looking back? When stable people are living in cars, this isn't a personal story anymore. It's a crisis knocking on every garage door. Part 5. The perfect storm of 2025. Do you feel it? There's something strange in the air in 2025, not because of gas prices or elections, but because America is sliding into a new crisis. Cars don't just carry people anymore, they carry sleep. Federal report. On one night in 2024, 771,480 Americans experienced homelessness, an 18% increase in 1 year, the highest on government record. Sounds like just a number, but if you've ever seen the long rows of cars parked overnight at Walmart or roadside parks, you understand. Those aren't tourists. They're Americans temporarily living in their cars because they have nowhere else to go. Why 2025? All the factors have converged. Rents soaring, wages crawling, anti-camping rulings forcing people to hide in cars, the stable middle class being sucked into a void, and the social housing system moving slower than a '98 RV. The perfect storm. Costs up, regulations tight, confidence down. Cars have become temporary housing for a generation. Not necessarily the poor, just people with nowhere to go. A 60-year-old man in Oregon. I thought homeless people were someone else, drug users, unemployed folks. Then I sold my house to pay medical debt, and now I sleep in a Ford pickup, but still wear a button-up shirt to work. Not unemployed, not on drugs. Doesn't want pity. Just normal life costs more than the dream. One night he parked under a gas station's yellow lights, listening to the radio talk about strong economic growth, and smiled bitterly. Maybe the economy is strong, it just doesn't apply to me. What's scary isn't the 771,000 number, it's the normalization. When media says trend, government says at least they're not on the street, and communities get used to car dwelling. That's the moment the American dream officially went downhill. An online quip nails it. Land of the free, more like land of mobile homes on wheels. This isn't isolated anymore. It's a system-breaking point where stability becomes privilege and cars become lifelines. A country that once prided itself on everyone having a chance to start over now forces hundreds of thousands to start over from a car trunk. When homes become luxury items and cars become shelters, nobody's truly immune. Part 6. What if cars really become homes? Imagine some morning in 2030, you pull into a parking lot and see a new sign, car-dwelling residential parking only. Sounds crazy? If current trends continue, this isn't if, it's when. Rents climbing, wages stalling, policies tightening, affordable housing approved but taking years. Car dwelling as a temporary fix might become long-term living, maybe even legalized. By then America might have mobile home communities. People park and live there, pay lot fees, have mailing addresses. Sounds modern? Actually, it's crisis normalization. Because when cars become homes, everything you took for granted, address, insurance, healthcare, work, becomes distant. No fixed address means can't find stable work. No homeowner's insurance means can't register for healthcare. No legal residence means can't park long-term. Car breaks down, you lose your roof. A woman in Berkeley's safe parking program. I have legal parking permission, but when the storm came they still said I had to leave. Watching rainwater stream down the windshield, I realized even with a home, I don't have real shelter. The irony is we call it flexible benefits. Sounds like a tech company, but it's really adapting to system failure. If this trend spreads, RV communities will spring up around major cities, residential zones on wheels, with their own networks, lifestyles, cultures. A parallel society existing in modern America, yet off the national radar. One day grandkids will ask, why did you choose to live in cars? I'll answer, kid, it wasn't a choice, we were chosen. Ironic, but true. When housing prices skyrocket, homes on wheels reshape America's map. Cars become homes, parking lots become residential areas. We're not just changing where we live, we're changing how we view stability. If you can live anywhere, the question becomes, where's actually worth returning to? This crisis isn't just about homeless people's stories. It's a mirror reflecting all our futures, a future where the line between freedom and survival is thinner than a car windshield. Conclusion, the choice we face. The real crisis of 2025 isn't that hundreds of thousands live in cars. It's that we're starting to see this as normal. When parking lots become residential zones, when car AC sounds replace home ceiling fans, we're witnessing the American dream shrinking, just enough to fit behind a steering wheel. Maybe you've never slept in a car, but if you pay rent, buy gas, raise kids, you're in the same boat as them. The only difference, you have house keys, they only have car keys. The real question is, if everything continues like this, will future America be a nation of homes or a nation of cars? Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is car living a choice of freedom or a sign of societal collapse? Share your thoughts in the comments. If this video made you think, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Every week, we dissect America's social and economic issues with an honest, independent, and human perspective. This video was created for analysis and informational purposes, aimed at sparking social discussion, not attacking any individual, organization, or government. All cited data comes from publicly available, reliable sources. The sole goal is helping viewers deeply understand the reality around them. Because sometimes seeing America's true face doesn't require looking up at skyscrapers. Just look at those cars parked silently at night.